All right, let's talk about Agile, Scrum, and Kanban. You've definitely heard these words thrown around in meetings, right? They often get used like they all mean the same thing, but they don't. Not at all. So, what do they actually mean, and how in the world do you know which one's right for you? Let's break it all down. You know that feeling. You're on a project, the plans are set in stone months in advance, but by the time you actually deliver the thing, the world has completely moved on. It's frustrating. Well, you're not alone. That whole rigid, slow-moving approach is exactly the problem a totally new way of thinking was designed to fix. And that new way of thinking is called Agile. Now, before we dive into the specifics like Scrum or Kanban, you've got to get this one crucial thing. Agile isn't a strict process or a set of rules. It's a philosophy. Think of it like a mindset for healthy living, not a specific, rigid diet plan. It's the big picture idea for a better way to build things. So, at its heart, Agile is all about being adaptive. It's this philosophy built on a few simple ideas, breaking down huge projects into smaller, bite-sized pieces, working super closely with your team and customers, and, this is the big one, being ready to change direction whenever you need to. It's all about making progress over chasing perfection. So, what does this Agile mindset actually look like when the rubber meets the road? Well, it comes down to these core ideas. Instead of one massive, risky launch, you build in small, iterative cycles. Instead of everyone working in their own little bubble, you have constant collaboration and transparency. This way, you're delivering value to your customers all the time, and you can treat change as an opportunity, not a disaster. Okay, so if Agile is the philosophy, how do you actually put it into practice? Well, one of the most popular ways is a framework called Scrum. And the best way to think about Scrum is to think of it as the sprinter of the Agile world. And this, right here, this is the core concept of Scrum. It organizes all work into these fixed length intervals called sprints. They're usually about 1 to 4 weeks long, and the goal is that at the end of every single sprint, you have something real, something tangible and potentially shippable to show for your effort. It's all about these short, super focused bursts of energy. And every single sprint follows this same powerful rhythm. You start by planning out exactly what you think you can achieve. Then, each day you have a quick sync up to make sure everyone's on track. At the end, you hold a sprint review to show off what you've built, but you also do a sprint retrospective, which is where the team reflects on how to get even better next time. It's this amazing built-in loop of learning and delivering. Now, to make this whole cycle work, Scrum relies on 3 very specific roles. You've got the product owner, who's responsible for the what needs to be built. Then you have the development team, who figures out how to build it. And finally, you have the Scrum Master, who's like a coach for the team, making sure the whole process runs as smoothly as possible. And look, this isn't just some theory from a textbook. Here's a quote from our source that shows it in the real world. We use 2-week sprints, daily stand-ups, and sprint reviews to continuously deliver features, which improved product quality and customer satisfaction. You can literally see how all those pieces we just talked about, the sprints, the meetings, the roles, all come together to create real, measurable results. All right, so if Scrum is our fast-paced sprinter, it's time to meet its counterpart, Kanban. And if Scrum is all about those powerful bursts of speed, Kanban is all about creating a smooth, continuous flow. So here's the key difference. Kanban isn't about fixed time boxes like sprints. Instead, the whole idea is to visualize every single step of your process. You want to see the work as it moves, and then focus on making that journey from start to finish as smooth and efficient as possible. It's less about hitting a deadline and more about perfecting the journey of the work itself. And the central tool for making this happen is the Kanban board. It can be super simple, maybe just 3 columns: to do, in progress, and done. Tasks, which are like little sticky notes, move from left to right as they get worked on. The beauty of this is that with just a single glance, anyone, and I mean anyone, can see what the team is working on, how much they're juggling, and most importantly, where things might be getting stuck. Now, beyond just seeing the workflow, Kanban has a secret weapon. It's called limiting your work in progress, or WIP. This means you put a hard cap on how many tasks can be in that in progress column at any one time. Now, that might sound counterintuitive, right? It forces the team to actually finish what they start before pulling in new stuff. This creates what's called a pull system. You only pull in new work when you have the capacity. And that is the secret to keeping the whole process flowing smoothly. Okay, we've met our 2 main contenders. In one corner, we have Scrum, the sprinter, and in the other, we have Kanban, the flow master. Now it's time to put them head to head. It's time for the showdown. So let's really get into the nitty-gritty of how these two stack up. When you boil it all down, the key differences really come down to their structure, their rhythm, and how they handle change. Okay, check out this side-by-side breakdown. You can start to see a real pattern here, can't you? Scrum is all about structure and predictability. You've got your fixed sprints, those strictly defined roles, and these big planning meetings. That makes it a bit less flexible once a sprint starts, which is why it's amazing for building a brand new product. On the flip side, Kanban is the king of flexibility. That continuous flow, no mandatory roles, and on-demand planning make it super adaptable. This is absolutely perfect for teams that handle a constant stream of unpredictable work, like an IT support team or a maintenance crew. So, after that showdown, the million-dollar question is probably bouncing around in your head. Which one should I actually use? Well, this next part is all about helping you make that exact choice. And the answer, of course, is it depends. I know, that's the classic consultant's answer, but it's really true. There is no single best framework. There's only the framework that's right for your specific team doing your specific type of work. So let's make it simple. You should probably lean towards Scrum if you're building a new product from the ground up. It's fantastic for projects where you know the requirements are going to change and you need that frequent feedback you get from the sprint reviews. That structured time-box delivery gives you a really reliable and predictable rhythm. On the other hand, Kanban is going to be your best friend if your team is handling a continuous stream of incoming tasks. Think IT support or a team handling bug fixes. If your priorities can shift at a moment's notice and you need that absolute flexibility for on-demand planning, then Kanban's focus on efficiency and smooth flow is going to be perfect for you. Ultimately, after all of this, it really just comes down to one simple question you can ask yourself and your team. Does your work benefit from short, intense, focused bursts of effort, like a sprinter running for the finish line? Or is your work more about maintaining a steady, sustainable, continuous pace for the long haul, like a marathoner? Thinking about your work in those terms, that's the best way to choose the path that's truly right for you.